Hello, and welcome back to my ePortfolio. My name is Josh Devers, and this is my final segment of my ePortfolio series. This video is a general overview and summary of the Hort 120 course. The Hort 120 class is designed to be an introduction to design class teaching the basics of computer-aided design on multiple different software applications. The course started with looking at AutoCAD, which is a non-industry specific software to recreate a small garden plan by tracing over it with a few different line tools. We then progressed to the larger master plan, which we imported, scaled, drew on, and then printed a finished plan. We followed the same process for the two other software applications we looked at, Dynascape and Real-Time Landscape Architect. We started by introducing the software with the small garden plan, and then applied what we learned with the small garden plan in the master plan. In all software applications, the first step was to import the background image and scale it so it is in 1:1 scale. This is so when drawing on the image, real-world measurements could be used. By importing the background image, some of the creative aspect of designing was taken away, but it allowed us to focus on the tools of the software using intuitive adaptation. Intuitive adaptation is taking what you've learned from one software and comparing it to how it was done in another. For example, in all software applications, the image had to be scaled, but each had a different process and how that was accomplished. This method was nice to learn the software because by tracing the same plan 3 different times, we could see the different ways to do it in each software. We also looked at photo imaging through real-time landscape photo and traditional modeling through SketchUp. Both methods also take a background image that you can draw over. Throughout this class, I was constantly learning new things. I've used Real-Time Landscape Architect in the past, but was self-taught, so it was nice to have some formal instruction on how to take my design skills to the next level. I learned about importing a background image, scaling, and how to do a walkthrough with viewpoints. I was also introduced to AutoCAD and Dynascape, which are 2 other softwares commonly used in the industry. It was nice to be exposed to 3 different software applications because it makes me more marketable for potential future companies to work for, and it also helps me to decide what software I prefer to use in my own business. The 3 most important things I learned in this course are 1:1 scaling, layer use, and labeling a design. In the past, for designs, I never drew over images and had to measure out the entire site individually and type those measurements into the software. After learning about 1:1 scaling, I can now just measure a few areas of the property and import an overhead image of it and begin drawing over it, speeding up the design process. Another important thing that I learned was layer management. Before taking this course, I did not know about layers and how they functioned, but I quickly learned their value. It is convenient to be able to turn a layer on and off and color coordinate them based on what part of the design they are, such as plants, plant bed lines, or hardscape areas. The third thing that will be impactful for my future is knowing how to create a finished design plan. In the past, I've just printed the top-down view of a design, but now that I know how to scale it, label the design, and add a plant list to it, all of these things I learned will be used in the real world. But I think I will use layers and a detailed plan view in every design I do from here on out. One thing I'm still confused about is how to move an imported image in Dynascape because you cannot click on it to select it. There is a more complex process to it which I forget at this time. Entering this course, I did not really know what to expect. I knew that it was a design class, but I did not know what software we would be using or how we would be doing the designs. Having some prior experience with landscape design software, I was excited to learn more about Real-Time Landscape Architect specifically, but also to be exposed to multiple different design software applications. I was surprised with how easy the software is to learn and how each one has its quirks, so really there is no perfect option. It comes down to personal preference. My expectations did slightly change throughout the semester. Originally, I just wanted to learn the software for class, but now I plan to recreate some past jobs I have done in the software to get more experience with it and because they can be done surprisingly fast. I hope in my free time to be able to remake some of my past projects for marketing for my company and to get faster with the software. My favorite application by far was Real-Time Landscape Architect. The ability to create a design in 2D and 3D in the same software is awesome because you have the benefit of modeling the bed lines and hardscape areas in plan view, but can also jump to the perspective view and see everything in 3D. The perspective tab is helpful for placing plants and showing clients a 3D perspective of the design so they can better visualize it. In real time, you can also have access to a vast plant, hardscape, and object library. If the library is not enough, you can also import object and textures into real time using SketchUp's 3D warehouse. Besides all this, real time is only $399 compared to some softwares being thousands of dollars. Real time is the best value for money on the market, in my opinion. Overall, Hort 120 has been a great experience learning about a variety of different software and how they compare to one another. It was nice being exposed to multiple different applications because it helped me to determine that real-time landscape architect is my favorite. But I'm now familiar with others in case I need them in the future. I also learned about importing and scaling a background image, how to manage layers, and how to create a detailed master plan. I look forward to taking what I learned in this class and applying it to my future career. Thank you for following along on my ePortfolio this semester.